Alright everybody, welcome back. Update Sons of Attila is right around the corner, and even though I'm out of patch content per se to cover, I figured we could talk about one of these smaller additions that's coming next patch that, personally, I'm super excited for. I don't know about y'all, but there's a ton of planes at 11.0 that I really enjoy playing, stuff like the F-4E, the MiG-23, the MiG-21, that I would just adore to actually be able to play. But this entire patch, and the patch before last, and the patch before that one, it's been pretty much impossible to play 11.0 because you just get sucked up to 12.0 pretty much every game. I played 17 games making this video. Out of those 17, 11 of them were full up tiers at 12.0. Ouch. And that goes for pretty much every other nation in the game. There's a few nations like China and Sweden, for example, that do seem to get down tiered more often than others, although that may just be placebo. But for the most part, every nation that has 12.0 vehicles has been getting constantly up tiered to 12.0 and has had a very, very hard time. Well, great news! Gaijin actually announced that with this new update and with the addition of the F-16C and D and the MiG-29 SMT, they are finally giving us 12.3. To be honest, it is probably still too late. They should have gone ahead and done it back whenever they added the MiG-29 and the F-16 and be giving us 12.7 or 13.0 right now, but I digress. What this does mean is that, just like 10.7 is right now, 11.0 just won't be able to be sucked into that top-tier matchmaker anymore. So 11.0 vehicles should be able to get down-tiered again very, very often. And that's going to put a lot of planes, just like the F-4E that I'm playing today, in a very, very good spot. And I'm excited for that personally, because I don't always have to play the very top ER. There's a ton of very fun 11.0 planes, and a lot of them will actually be viable again. Stuff like the F-104S, for example, which was getting absolutely slammed by top-tier jets. Even the more capable 11.0s, like the F-4E, for example, still don't face very well when you're fighting stuff like F-14s and F-16s, and they're going to have a chance to be good again, at least hopefully. 11.3, unfortunately, will still have to get up tier pretty much every game, but at least now 11.0 is going to be a whole lot more viable. The F-4E in particular is one that I am very excited to play. I've played this thing for a very long time. I'm playing the Israeli one today because it's just better than the American one of the same BR. It gets Navy missiles instead of Air Force, and sure, the 9G has 2 less Gs, but it also has a much longer burn time and much better kinematics overall, and is overall just a much, much better missile. The AIM-9J was hit incredibly hard by the drag nerfs, and, well, it just didn't really turn out too well for the thing. I'll talk more about the kit later on, but one of the big things with it, of course, is going to be its flight performance. Most people don't expect the Phantom to be very maneuverable, but the F-4E has these amazing things called wing slats, right? It has the Agile Eagle kit. Agile Eagle is an upgrade package that the F-4E and a few of its variants have, and what it does is add those slats on the enemy wing right there. They're auto slats, so whenever you pull, they'll automatically pop out, giving you extra AOA and lift, and a little bit of extra drag as well, but they do come in automatically whenever you're flying in a straight line to help with that. You can pop them out manually as well if you need to for whatever reason, so you do also have that option, and they do not rip. So you can pop them out at any speed, and you're not going to have to worry at all. Very nice. One really cool thing with the Phantoms in particular is for some reason they turn into absolute UFOs once they go below about like 6 minutes of gas. And while it won't be enough to compete with someone like an F-14 or an F-16 in a dogfight, you will absolutely shred everything below that. Pretty much. I mean, an F-5 is going to give you a run for your money, but I would actually recommend running no more than 20 minutes of fuel, partially because this thing is already not too fuel hungry compared to what it used to be, but partially also just because this performance is just so incredibly good that I purposely starve myself of fuel in most of my matches. I've tinkered with running the drop tank a little bit and running min fuel so I can drop it and immediately go to 9 minutes of gas, but I haven't found too much of a use for it. You can always try it yourself if you'd rather, but you can see I'm already down to like 40 seconds of fuel, and to be honest, I'm not really worried. I would have still made it back to base anyways. But in any case, another massive advantage the F-4E has, and which you're going to be able to use a lot more of next patch, is the fact that you get 4 25G dogfight radar missiles at 11.0. And you're at a BR where a lot of people don't have the ability to counter it. And especially if they climb like they're doing right here, there's really nothing they can do. Because even if they chaff, the missile will simply ignore the chaff unless they're able to get into a notch in time. For those of y'all who don't know what a CW Seeker Head is, let me elaborate a little bit. There's a few different guidance methods for radar missiles, and one of those is a CW Seekerhead, which is what the Sparrow has. We all know that these missiles are pretty old. They don't have data link like the R-27ER, and so they're not able to communicate with the mother aircraft after they've left the rail. All they're doing is seeing the radar reflections coming back at them, and they're making their decisions on where to guide based on that. That's why the Fox 1 call out exists in the first place, just so they can avoid, having any friendly fire. So you can see, I'm going to fire at this F-4E right here, and he is going to chaff, right? And he's going to turn away. The problem is, my radar beam doesn't just point at that little box right there. It covers an entire area of the sky. The missile is still able to see him, and because it tracks on speed differences, just like with that F-4E shooting me right there, the missile is going to go for the fast, big target over the stationary target. A CW Seekerhead guides on the Doppler effect, or the difference in speed in the radar. So just keep that in mind, and if someone does chaff you, maintain lock. There's a pretty good chance it'll still hit anyways, although the AIM-7E2 isn't the best missile. It loses a ton of speed after that motor burns out. Those drag changes affect it pretty poorly. Just keep in mind, may as well try. The AIM-9J on the American F-4E also got poorly affected by that drag change, which is part of the reason why I'm not playing that one today. The 9J is not nearly what it used to be. Of course, all missiles pretty much are one flares these days, but that combination of poor flare resistance, plus the pretty poor range, and only having 20 G pull as well, just really makes it that I wouldn't really recommend playing it if you have this one. It's still a good 11.0, it's just that having AIM-9Gs is so much better than having AIM-9Js if you can get the exact same platform either way. The Vulcan as well has gotten massively buffed, as I'm sure y'all are aware. Real Shatter got fixed. It is still here, but at least it doesn't absolutely suck anymore. And so now you're going to be getting plenty of one-shots with this gun. I would highly recommend running air targets on it, because it actually works these days. And overall, this is a pretty fun plane 11.0, provided that you actually get down tiers, which, like I said, we should be getting next patch. One other thing to note, if for whatever reason you prefer running more of an IR missile setup on your Phantoms, and you have the Israeli one, you are actually able to run 6 AIM-9Gs on the Kernes, which is what they call the F-4E. Although I am mispronouncing that, I'm sorry to Gailad and my other Israeli viewers. But in any case, you can run 6 of them, you can run 2 in the front Sparrow pylons, and it's kind of the same loadout you see in the later 2000s as well. This plane is also excellent CAS, although I did neglect to actually go ahead and get any footage of that today. I wasn't able to play any tanks in time. So just keep that in mind. This thing does get 6 Mavericks, and it can also carry Walleyes and other GBUs as well. It's an excellent addition to your ground RV lineup if you decide you'd like to use it. Honestly, when it comes to the next update, the addition of 12.3 is one of the things I'm most excited about, because there's a ton of planes at 11.0 that are going to be so much more fun now and so much more enjoyable. And to be honest, I'm more excited about this change than the F-16C or the MiG-29 SMT. Although that is, of course, just me. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Which aircraft are y'all looking forward to playing? In any case, I'll catch y'all next time. So, peace, y'all.